very good evening to you and welcome to the news. I'm Sarah Dadiowe Apa. Here are the highlights. Bayelsa State Assembly urges executive arm to partner law enforcement agency, others, to curb drug abuse. Bayelsa Assembly orders Board of Internal Revenue to submit list of registered tax collectors. Plus, Osimhen becomes fan favorite during his 4 seasons at the club in Naples. And now, details. The Bayelsa State House of Assembly has advised the executive arm to partner the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, the police, and the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to intensify efforts in curbing drug abuse in the state. The resolution followed a 2-day point motion moved by Honorable Samson Douglas Awudulu, member representing Nembe Constituency 3. Assembly correspondent in Nebraton has the details.
Are formed in the tertiary institutions of learning and secondary schools. On gaining admission into the schools, they abandon their educational agenda and get busy with illicit and illegal drug business activities by trading in and use of opiates, cocaine, heroin, cannabis, amphetamine. Aware that drugs abuse and trafficking is not only a challenge in the international sense.
Moving the motion, the need to curb the high rates of drug abuse among youth and students in Bayelsa State, the lawmaker Honorable Samson Awudulu frowned at the alarming increase of drug abuse among youths, especially those in primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions.
Annual prevalence of drug use by the state in the south-south zone of Nigeria placed Bayelsa State at 14%. With an estimated population of 103,000. That means it's about 22,280 persons in Bayelsa State. Most commonly used drugs include cannabis, heroin, tramadol, codeine, morphine, cocaine, amphetamine, cough syrup, solvent, and inhaler, and so on.
According to the Nembe Constituency 3 lawmaker, his constituents are worried that if nothing is done to nip this ugly scenario in the bud, schools will remain a breeding ground for drug addicts and drug dealers.
So we brought the bill to the House to stop all those areas of drug abuse by sending the drug, NDLEA go to the school to have apples by administering drug tests.
During plenary on the motion, lawmakers took turns to highlight the dangers of drug use in the society, laying emphasis on means of curbing the trend.
Our youths are living adults, and so to bring this to the floor of the House is basically an attempt to complement what the executive is doing as it concerns drugs and the well-being of our people.
There's no community in our state where we don't have a joint or a ghetto, whatever name they call it. And that has turned our youths to junkies.
After looking for money drugs and they couldn't find it, they will now resort to small theft to go and steal proof.
The real victims are those people who are not taking drugs. It's a two-way thing. When somebody is under drugs, it's going to be visited the anger, the atrocities of drug abuse are going to be visited on those innocent people who do not even take drugs.
Bayelsa State government already have agencies wherein in one of the prayers he did mention that there is the need for us to upgrade say to either a hub or so. So I would propose that instead of expanding that one, that Bayelsa State government also have their own rehabilitation center where it will be managed by the proposing board.
I also want to join the previous speakers, Mr. Speaker, to thank the mover and the sponsor of this motion.
The House finally resolved to
direct the Ministry of Education to ensure all heads of secondary, primary, and tertiary educational institutions in Bayelsa State to create NDLEA outposts on their campuses where NDLEA operative and other relevant agencies will be deployed to assist the authorities to curb drug dealings and abuse.
I am Liberaton Pri, reporting for NDTV News.
The Bayelsa State House of Assembly has ordered the State Board of Internal Revenue to submit a comprehensive list of legal and registered tax collectors and agents in the state. This followed a motion during plenary moved by Honorable Charles Daniel, member representing Brass Constituency 1. Assembly correspondent Liberaton Pri again tells us more.
The detrimental effects of this menace on our economy, reputation, business, environment with urgency and resolve. Aware that multiple taxation essentially refers to the imposition of various taxes on the same income or property by different taxing authorities.
Worried by the multiple taxation of traders and those transporting goods into the state, as well as private estate developers, the lawmaker observed that the resources of citizens are fraudulently converted into personal pockets of few individuals.
This 7 of the concurrent legislative list of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, actually empowers the State House of Assembly to make laws in terms of revenue generation.
The Brass Constituency 1 lawmaker further noted that the adverse effects of multiple taxation creates an unfavorable investment climate, discouraging local investors.
What is Excellency, the Governor of Bayelsa State, to create a specialized task force in accordance with Section 47 of the Constitution to investigate and prosecute perpetrators of unauthorized taxation, ensuring swift and decisive action against offenders.
The House during plenary discussed the issue for over 2 hours before its final resolution.
Not only the boys. If you go to this Sagama road, the police people on that road, the shaggy boys are more than, I think the other that I counted is up to 15. And these people are collecting money from the people that are bringing in goods. And this is affecting all of us.
Total taxations at our border posts, like my colleague rightly mentioned, in Kayama, Gateway Junction, will discourage investors from coming. People have the good intention to come and invest in this state. And by investing in this state, it will boost our economy and increase our revenue and IGR. But because of these multiple taxations from various sectors, people are discouraged to come into Bayelsa to invest. Secondly, it directly or indirectly increases the cost of goods and services. If the trader goes to maybe Delta State to buy garri, because of these illegal taxes and levy imposed on her, she will definitely increase the price of garri to make profit because she's a businesswoman. And most times these taxes are being imposed on these traders by people that are not even authorized in the first place to collect taxes for the state.
Order the Bayelsa State Board of Internal Revenue to furnish this house with a list of legal and registered tax collectors and agents in the state. Directs the Bayelsa State Board of Internal Revenue to stop all illegal revenue or tax collectors in the state and to adopt an electronic tax collection system immediately.
From the State House of Assembly in Yenagoa, I am Liberaton Pri, reporting for NDTV News.
The Executive Secretary of Bayelsa State Health Insurance Scheme, BHIS, Dr. Zoboimi Agada, says subscribers of the scheme have a right to quality health care delivery from their service providers. Dr. Agada stated this while speaking as guest on Niger Delta Television's flagship current affairs program, Insight. Correspondent Asanat Ibrahim completes the report.
Bayelsa State Health Insurance Scheme, BHIS, was introduced in the state 7 years ago to provide primary health care to citizens. Speaking on NDTV Current Affairs program, Insight, the Executive Secretary of the scheme, Dr. Zwabremi Agada explained that all enrollees of the scheme are eligible to be well attended to by their service provider.
They have the right to be treated well. They have the right to be attended to well. Just as I am telling my staff who go to Swale Market, now we are in Swale Market registering people too. Go to Swale Market. I say, anytime you go to Swale Market and engage somebody that is paying, ask the person, have you received your card? Have you gone to the hospital? What is your experience? Let's have their experiences as a case study.
He also explained that BHIS funds are properly managed, pointing out that despite the high inflation, the cost of accessing BHIS service and drugs have remained same.
The scheme is not mismanaged. We have enough funds at every point in time to be able to take care of those that are sick. We have excess funds. That's why we are boasting and say, okay, things have increased. We can increase prices also because we have some excess fund that we were able to keep when things were able to a little better.
Dr. Agada commended the infrastructure put in place by the state government.
And then we have referral hospitals in most of the local government headquarters. Before we now have the primary healthcare centers that operate, every ward has an operational primary healthcare center, which we deal with directly through the federal government basic healthcare provision fund. So all those vulnerable people are registered into those ward healthcare primary healthcare centers.
I am Ibrahim Asanat for NDTV News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has filed a notice of withdrawal to discontinue an appeal against an order of a Kogi High Court restraining the agency from arresting Governor Yahaya Bello, former governor of the state. In the notice filed on April 22 and signed by its counsel, J.S. Okuteba, son, the EFCC said the withdrawal is predicated on the fact that events have overtaken the appeal. The Commission also admitted that the appeal was filed out of the time allowed by law. And now on sports. Osimhen has become a fan favorite during his 4 seasons at the club in Naples. Despite signing a contract extension in December, he has been linked to a move outside Italy with interest from Manchester United, Chelsea, and Paris Saint-Germain. For details of these and more, let's join Ayemi Tamaremi for sports updates.
Osimhen has become a fan favorite during his 4 seasons at the club. Despite signing a new contract extension in December, he has been linked to a move outside of Italy with interest from Manchester United, Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain. The 25-year-old who left French League One side Lille in 2020 to join Napoli has been a revelation for the Italian club, amassing over 70 goals and leading the team to its 3rd Serie A title. In recent interview with Betson Sport, he was asked to describe how he felt about Napoli fans. He referred to Naples as his second home. Extraordinary. For me, it's absolutely incredible. I've been in football for about 7 years now, and I say it in every interview when they ask me about Napoli fans. When I have to look for a word to describe them, I'm speechless because they are electrifying. I have never seen anything like this that takes football so seriously. The way the fans support the team is truly unbelievable. I have played in other clubs, but the passion that the Neapolitans have for their club is out of this world, said the Nigerian striker. In 28 games for Napoli this season across all competitions, Osimhen has 15 goals and 18 assists. Pep Guardiola's team kept up their hot streak without the injured Erling Haaland, the league's joint top scorer with 20 goals, and that allowed Foden to potentially join the race for the Golden Boot. With his impressive performance at the Amex Stadium, Foden has scored 16 goals so far this season and 24 goals in 48 games across all club competitions. After playing to a goalless draw at home against Arsenal on March 31st, City has won 4 straight league games and scored 17 goals. In the 17th minute, De Bruyne gave City the lead with a diving header from Kyle Walker's right-wing cross, and in the 26th, Foden added a second with a deflected free kick. After Brighton lost possession while trying to play out from the back, Foden added a third in the 34th minute with a low finish from inside the area. Julian Alvarez, starting up front in place of Erling Haaland, slotted in the fourth in the 67th minute of the game. With 5 games remaining, one more than Arsenal, City is not showing any signs of faltering in their last stretch, which includes games against Wolves, West Ham, in addition to trips to Nottingham Forest, Fulham and Tottenham. City will be champions once more if they win all 5 of those games. In the history of English soccer, no team has ever won 4 straight titles. I am Ayemi Mene for NDTV Sports.
That sports report wraps up our bulletin, but before we go, we'll take another look at stories that made headlines. The Bayelsa State House of Assembly has advised the executive arm to partner the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA), the police, and the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) to intensify efforts in curbing drug abuse in the state. We also brought you a report that the Bayelsa State House of Assembly has ordered the State Board of Internal Revenue to submit a comprehensive list of legal and registered tax collectors and agents in the state. And finally, Osimhen has become a fan favorite during his 4 seasons at the club in Naples, despite signing a contract extension in December. He has been linked to a move outside Italy with interest from Manchester United, Chelsea, and Paris Saint-Germain. That's the news. Like and follow us on Facebook, NDTV Newsroom, YouTube channel, NDTV Newsroom at BYS. Thanks for watching. I'm Sarah Dadiwe Apa. Good night.